Hello, it's Jamie Bishop with Soul Heart Entertainment here. Yay, it's ToesDay! And it's a new month, it's August. In our Karmic Soul Reset program, August is the month of prosperity and abundance. Woohoo! Who doesn't like that subject? So, we are going to talk a little bit about prosperity and abundance today. And the baby toes. Baby toes, baby toes. And so, where do we start? We always start with a little bit of information on our toe reading map. All right, so in our toe reading map, we have internal self and external self, which is the left foot is our internal, right foot is our external, and then each of the toes means something based on which foot it's in. The big toes both are about destiny or big picture. The second toes are the air toes, and they are all about communication and creativity and sometimes your analytical mind. The third toe is our fire toe. It is all about how we take action in our lives. And it's also about our temperament, like our temper, period, end of sentence. Whether it's active temper or inactive. Or keeps reconnecting, honey. I don't know why. Anyway, then we have our water toe, which is the ring finger toe, if you will. That is all about our relationships in our lives. It's about how we go with the flow or don't, as the case may be. And then our baby toes are the only toes that are different from side to side. On the right toe, or on the right foot in general, assuming you're right-handed and whatnot, it is all about our prosperity and abundance. On our left foot, it's more about, on our left foot, that baby toe is about our faith and trust. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know what questions you have. Otherwise, let's look at some baby toes. All right. So, I'm trying to find a good picture that has some unique things in it. Even though this isn't the baby toe, I wanted to point something out that I don't think I've talked about in a long time. And that is, if you look on these toes, you can see they're essentially little freckles, if you will. See, on the middle toe of these feet. So the freckles are what are referred to as angel kisses. And angel kisses are marks on our feet that create an enhancement, if you will. So on those feet, it's the action toe or the temperament toe. So that person is going to have an enhanced ability to create action in their lives, which is really kind of cool. So that would be a fantastic salesperson, essentially, is what it comes down to. Somebody who's going to take action, who's going to get on that list and make those calls and do whatever they have to do to take action in their life, which is really, really cool. Tracy, hi, thank you for being here. You have a lot of angel kisses. Yes, angel kisses are the best. It means that you're just surrounded by your angels at all times. Okay, so let's take a look at these angel toes. I'm sorry if it keeps kind of going in and out of service. For some reason, my phone is like having to reconnect every so often. So I'm not sure what that's about. But if it goes off, I will, come back on. So let's just take a look at this right baby toe, which is about the prosperity and abundance, which is what we're talking about today. And when I see this toe, what I'm seeing is somebody who's straightforward, their toe is coming straight off their foot. their toenail has some nice volume to it, so they have a good vision of what prosperity and abundance looks like for them. If you look at their baby toe on their left foot, you can see that it's kind of bent to the side a little bit, where that nail is kind of showing, it's kind of going out a little bit more. So, but the prosperity and abundance toe is not doing that, which is wonderful to see. So this person is capable of bringing prosperity and abundance into their life without really trying too hard. It just kind of flows. If I were to pick on anything, and you know, I mean, picking on to me means that that's where they could use the most help in their lives. So it's just my way of basically pointing out to them some subconscious underlying belief systems that they might be ready to get rid of, because it might be holding them back from achieving something much, much greater in life. So on this, the only kind of real picking on thing that I have to say about that is that there's a little bit of a bubbling of that skin, right? So what that looks like in life, it looks like that they are maybe holding on to too much stuff, okay? Or thoughts that no longer serve them, kind of some limiting beliefs, if you will, around their prosperity and abundance, where it might be holding them back from achieving even greater abundance in their life. So that's the only thing that I would say about those toes. I do love those toes, though. You can see that all of these, all of the toes have fairly reasonably large toenails, and what that means in toe reading is that the large toenails have a wider vision for more access to whatever it is that the toe is looking. For example, the left, actually let's talk about the right, because that's what our focus is today, right? The right is the prosperity and abundance toe, so the baby toe is the right toe. We're also talking about the root chakra, as well as it kind of touches on the sacral chakra. So this person, if they were struggling, if they were having things happen in their life that were not providing those really stable financial situations or prosperity or success in their own mind's eye, it might show up as lower back pain, like that sacral area, kind of right around maybe some hip pain even. It might show up as tender tummy, or just some digestive issues, I guess would be the best way to say it. When issues show up, like pain and difficulty digesting things, that's just kind of our body's way of telling us that we're out of alignment with what our beliefs are, or out of alignment with what our higher purpose path is in life. So pain is such a blessing. It is, if we can step back from the feeling of being uncomfortable, we can really see how pain serves us, and serves us kind of progressing and up-leveling our spiritual selves, if you will. So we were talking about prosperity and abundance for those of you who just joined us, and what that looks like is kind of our root and our sacral chakras and I don't know if you can see that on here. It might be too blurry. Turn it to anyway, so I guess you'll just have to trust me. So this person's foot, they have a nice level of comfort when it comes to their prosperity and abundance. If you have prosperity and abundance questions, I would love to answer them. This person also has an incredible prosperity and abundance. They also have nice big pictures, or big ideas when it comes to what it looks like for them, as far as what is out there that creates prosperity and abundance in their life. This one is the one that she's really, there's no lines to really look at. Now, I don't know if that's been airbrushed off or if that's genuinely what her toes look like, where it's just, there's no crevices, there's no lines, there's not even angel kisses on this person's toes, but they are showing up the way that you would want somebody to show up. Like, what she says is what she does. How she expects things to work out is exactly how they work out. There's not a whole lot of challenge in this person's life, which is, I mean, isn't that what we're all kind of wanting to achieve? In the less drama, the better, right? The less challenges, the better. Okay, so I think that one is here. This one is a really, really good one for really showing any of the toes, because this person has really beautiful toes. They take care of themselves, they take care of their feet, they care about how they show up in the world. All of that kind of good stuff shows up on these toes. And yet there's some stuff to work on here, which is wonderful. How bored would we be if we didn't have to work on anything in our lives? I know it sounds really nice to not have any challenges and to not have anything to work on, but the reality is, I think that we as humans would be bored out of our minds if we didn't have anything to work on. Anyway, so what we're looking at is this right baby toe here, and when toes are that close to each other and sometimes kind of stacked on top of each other a little bit, what I'm looking at is somebody who has a little bit of a challenge when it comes to seeing a vision for herself around prosperity and abundance without a significant other to help her do that, because that's the relationship toe, right? That's how we go with the flow or don't go with the flow. So she has a tendency to hold back. She has a tendency to hold back on that relationship toe. You can kind of see how it holds back even just from the rest of the toes sitting right next to it. And then it's kind of on top of this prosperity and abundance toe. So what that might look like in her life as far as things that are showing up that might show that she's not in alignment with the beliefs or goals, if you will. Goals aren't necessarily our beliefs, but that's where we want them to be, right? We want our beliefs to be in alignment with our goals, because that's what makes things happen really fluidly and really easily. And that's how that prosperity and abundance can come to us really, really quickly, is when our beliefs are in alignment with our goals. So when I look at these toes, what I'm seeing is that she has an underlying belief that her relationship is a direct connection to her prosperity and abundance in life. And she's holding back in that relationship. So there's something going on there that might create a situation where she doesn't feel completely free to pursue whatever it is that her soul knows she needs to pursue in order to find that prosperity and abundance in her life. I'm not sure how this is showing up, because my screen keeps saying that it's trying to reconnect. So I don't know if it's interrupting the feed. So if I, suddenly go blank on my face, that's why, because I'm looking at my screen. Technology. It's fantastic, isn't it? Anyway. So tell me if you have prosperity and abundance, if you would like me to touch on anything. So on this picture, this gal has fantastic prosperity and abundance going on. And you can see the little tattoo of the star. I'm going to put it up to the camera a little bit closer. And it's right over that relationship toe. but because the relationship toe is really close to the prosperity and abundance toe, this is somebody who had starred, if you will, literally, a relationship challenge that she maybe got over, that she maybe healed from. She literally had it tattooed on her foot that she achieved a goal in this lifetime that what might have been holding her back in the past, but now she is walking very firmly and very comfortably in her skin, in her human form right now with her relationship. So she's very comfortable with her relationship, which automatically translates into a steadier, more comfort level with her prosperity and abundance toe as well. So that's kind of neat to see there. One of the things about this person is you can see that there's a little bit of, like, you can see that little indent right there where if her toes or if her feet didn't have this kind, it's almost like it has enough space to hold an extra digit, right? If another baby digit grew out of there, she almost could handle that. So if you see people that have, kind of wide feet have a tendency to be people that are really, really intuitive, and they're really in touch with their other world or their kind of spiritual side. And so that shows up as that extra padding here, extra sensitivity. They almost have that, extra sense, the sixth sense, if you will. That's kind of how it shows up on the feet. One of the things that I will say about that is that because that extra padding exists there, one of the challenges that can show up if they're not trusting their intuition is that it can show up as some clogged lymphatic system situations. So maybe a little bit of excess weight, a little bit of, fatigue, or almost just feeling tired a lot can sometimes happen when we're, I feel like our comfort level and our happiness level and the things that work really well and really fluidly in our lives, regardless of ups and downs, most of that shows itself when we're following our God-given gifts, right? So kind of that's one of my biggest passions in life, is to create a safe space where people can voice those opinions and come up with this, just feel safe to pursue what it is that they're here to pursue. Because I feel like if we don't do it in this lifetime, we're bound to end up back here trying again. So anyway, not that here is bad. There's nothing wrong with here per se. Okay, so let's talk about these little toes right here, because I think that these are really, really neat toes to look at. First, one of the things that I see here, you can see this prosperity and abundance toe right here is very much hidden. Maybe that's what 2020 is all about. Yeah. I mean, 2020 is a foundation year. If you just take 2022 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0, numerologically speaking, I always have to think about that word. 2020 is about foundations. It's about having the 4 pillars of life in place. It's about setting goals and, but not just setting goals for the 1 year, 5 year, 10-year plan. It's more about creating a stable launching pad from which to achieve those goals. So, from kind of a jumping off point is how I see it. So when we create a really healthy launching pad, it almost doesn't matter what comes at us as far as challenges, because we have that really stable foundation that we can always go back to. So I think 2020 is probably a lot about creating a healthier platform on which to jump off of. if that makes sense. And, you know, I'm not going to get political, but essentially my belief system centers around the idea that we know what's best for us, and if we're living the highest purpose path that we individually can live, the whole world has this ability to magically shift into something that we, Rebecca, into something that we can be so excited to wake up the next day for, right? Remind me what the 4 pillars are. So I was talking about how the year 2020 is this foundational year to set up. And thank you so much for being here, Rebecca. So glad you're. So the 2020 is this foundational year where we're setting up this launching pad from which we get to spring forward into our goals and desires in the next, you know, in our coming years here on Earth, right? So there's no 4 pillars that I have in mind necessarily, but, you know, I mean, relationships, abundance, faith, trust, and, you know, kind of the actions that we take are really 4 fantastic pillars for a fabulous foundation for our future, right? To be able to achieve the big picture, to be able to communicate what we need to communicate in order to have. So I use the toes for almost everything in my life. It's really so fun. Okay, so let's take a look. We're talking about prosperity and abundance in today's episode. So that is our right toe, our right baby toe. So in this particular case, you can see that she has a relationship toe, which is the one next to the ring finger toe, if you will, is kind of pointing down to the surface of the earth. So it's kind of, you know, it has that little bit of a curve to it. Actually, it has a pretty big curve to it, where, you know, if you, let me pull up that other picture I have, if I can find it really fast, where we have this curving to the earth that is basically saying that we're not quite, well, here's nice flat, here's a nice of toes that do not curve to the earth. So these toes are coming straight forward, they're not curving at all. There's no indication that this person right here is having challenges as far as feeling unstable. So in this particular person, she is having relationship challenges. And on the right foot, it's about the relationships that we have with our external selves. And then the prosperity and abundance, for her, she has this direct correlation to her relationship being a very integral part of what prosperity and abundance means to her. So when she's in sadness in her relationship toe over whatever's going on in her relationships in life. Hi, Tyler. Thanks for joining. So glad you're here. Are you back from your honeymoon, or are you just joining me from a foreign country? That'd be amazing. Anyway, so we're talking about prosperity and abundance, which is the baby toe on the right foot. And this particular person has a relationship toe that kind of droops. So when I see that kind of, that toe that curls toward the earth, what I'm seeing is somebody that's having challenges in their relationship. And because it's on her right foot, it's about her external relationships. So when it comes to her external relationships and the stability that she has with them, she has a direct correlation to her own personal feelings of health, wealth, and prosperity. And you can see that by how closely connected the toes are, but also I see that there's a little bit of a repeating cycle in her life, and that kind of shows up as that little teardrop shape on where the 2 toes connect, where the relationship toe connects to the baby toe. Hopefully you can see this okay. But so what I would, if I were coaching her, if I were in session with her, what I would say is, where do you feel like your relationships are falling short? because they're literally falling. Where are they falling short of her expectations? And where might we be able to shift those expectations into something that might suit the relationship in a healthier way? Not that she's being unhealthy, but expectations can really throw us for a loop. They can put us in this position where we are demanding something that may or may not be the same path, if you will, as our significant others, right? So, and not that you want to shift your own life, but when you're in relationship, you do want to have a steady sense of security around it, right? You want to have that balance, if you will, in the relationship where you're not too demanding, they're not too demanding, you're not too pushover, they're not too pushover. It's kind of this steady juggling act, if you will, over the course of a relationship in how that looks. So for her, she's struggling with external relationships and what that looks like her, and what the desire is there for her. Now you can also see how close those toes are. So when she worked really, really hard, obviously, on getting some space in between her toes and getting those toes to, remember, we're looking at our right foot, okay? This is what happened about 6 months later, okay? You can see that there's nice spacing between her toes. The prosperity and abundance toe is still rather connected to the relationship toe, but that relationship toe is definitely coming forward a lot straighter than it was before. So there's been some insights that have happened that have helped her adjust expectations so that it's really when you were asking about do toes change, and obviously from this picture you can see that they definitely do. And I've even seen toes change in session, like in the middle of a session. I've seen somebody's toes completely change and adjust, and it's sometimes very, very dramatic things, like things that they've found to be things that they don't like about their feet. We kind of get to the surface of what it is that's creating that belief system that's holding them back or slowing them down, or not allowing them to come into fruition. And the toes change instantly. That's why I love toe reading so much, because it's this physical manifestation of what's going on in our head around our thoughts and belief systems. So it literally shows up in the toes, and as we shift our thoughts, feelings, and emotions that don't serve us anymore, it shifts in the toes. And how amazing is that? I just absolutely love it. So, well, that's about all I have to say, unless anybody has any questions. I'll just end up talking again next week. Next week we'll talk again. This whole month we'll talk about prosperity and abundance. So if you want to send me pictures, if you have some questions about prosperity and abundance, if you have some questions about the difference between beliefs versus our goals and kind of bridging the gap between those, definitely send me questions. I love answering them. Last week's session was all about answering questions, which was really, really fun. Yeah, So that's it. I'll just leave you with a little image of the toe reading map there. Hold it as still as I can for a few seconds. And Nikki, thank you for being here, is saying that your right baby toe feels better now. Oh, good. I'm so glad. So as you're oh, you know what? There was something that came to me right before I got on that was just one of those like little divine inspirations. I came across this, this image of somebody's backyard where they have a labyrinth mapped out in their backyard, and in the middle of their labyrinth was this huge, it's called a Shiva lingam rock, and you know, obviously hers was not hand size, but I use my Shiva lingam rock all the time. Thank you for being here, Rebecca. And this is a great stone for balancing masculine and feminine energy. So I loved that it was in the middle of this woman's labyrinth, and I cannot wait to go visit it someday soon. So if you're having trouble, you know, balancing feminine, masculine, Shiva lingam is the perfect stone. They make little little pocket-sized ones that you. And that was what I was inspired to share with you today, so hopefully that comes in handy for somebody. Again, my name is Jamie Bishop with Soul Heart Entertainment. This has been Tuesday Toe Talks, ToesDay, and thank you for joining. Send questions and I'll answer them next week. Bye for now.